I can hear the echo of your heartbeat as you pound this. Who's that? I don't know.
Echo of your heart. That sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar, but I don't know where it's from.
It's like a regular, like a rap singing song,
right?
Like a Janet Jackson break.
I heard. It's. I don't know. It's like it sticks in my head. I don't know why.
Cool. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fantastic.
How art thou?
I'm good.
Two Bros Podcast, episode 19. Damn, we are fastly approaching 20. You know, once we went over 10, it just steamrolled.
I know, yeah.
And it just kind of went full speed ahead. So, welcome everybody. Good morning. Hope you're all fine and dandy.
That's right. On this dreary Sunday.
Yeah, but I like those.
You like dreary Sundays?
I love a dreary, rainy Sunday. Nothing to do, kind of lazy, chill.
All the time?
No. I love them when you got nothing to do. You got to have the other parts.
All right, okay.
You got to have nothing.
So they have to fit.
Yeah, you got to fit.
So if today was a day of running around and picking up shit, you'd be like, fuck, it's dreary and rainy all day.
Yeah. Same narrative, wrong day. But I like rainy days that are kind of like fucking nothing to, you get shit done around the house, wash clothes, do all that goofy shit. But how was your week?
My week was pretty good.
Paper Cup Coffee Day was a success.
Paper Cup Coffee Day was nice.
It looked like a success. I didn't chime in because I did not have a fucking Paper Cup Coffee. I had this fucking styrofoam cup and I was like, no!
You can get one. They have them at Dunkin' Donuts. You can get them.
I know, but I actually had. Uh-huh. And then I remade coffee and dumped it in here and did my running around. And I was like, fuck, it's National Paper Cup Coffee Day. But it was a huge success. Thanks to all the fans who contributed and participated.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. And I like the response. People said, hey, let's do this. Like, come on, this is a real thing here. Like, where's your cup? I like the fun. Hashtag. Yeah.
Where's your cup?
Where's your cup? So
I tried the guy that outside of one of the buildings where I work at. Mm-hmm. He's got like his coffee cart vending thing. And I tried to record him, but he wouldn't let me record him. Really? He was scared? Yeah, he was scared. He said, no, my friend, no.
It's probably an immigration thing. I mean, like a lot of guys get scared of immigration.
Yeah, he's got an official cart, though. He's got an official NYC cart, so he's...
All right, that may be, but that shit may be in somebody else's name.
Yeah, it may be. You're right.
He had a reason why he didn't filmed. He probably was like, you know what?
You're right.
Who's gonna see this?
I was like, yo, it's official the National Paper Cup Coffee Day, man. He said, no, my friend, no.
Yeah.
No, my friend.
But what we'll do next time we'll print up the cups. Mm-hmm. If we can do it in enough time. It takes a couple weeks. Print up the cups and drop them at like the coffee spot.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then give it to them. Like say, hey, these are free. Free cups. And it's free advertisement. Like,
Oh, that's nice.
To say it's National Paper Cup Coffee Day.
That stuff is for free. It's whatever. We should just set up a table and just put... I forget what show this was. Some show did something where they said, like, anybody will take shit for free.
Yeah.
And they set up a table in which they had socks, rocks, and I think, like, cellophane paper or some shit like that. And they say, hey, it's free. You just got to pick one. You can't. We ask that you don't take like two or three
of anything,
just
or
one
just
of each.
gouge out on it.
And there were people sitting there just going,
yeah. No, man, I don't need it. I don't need one.
A free rock. Yeah, it's yours. Take it.
You know the guy that did the pet rock? Have you ever seen that thing? He caked off.
Yes.
He made a shitload of money. Yes. He made like $60 million or something. Yes. For selling a fucking rock. I am super blown away that people said, oh, this is a thing. Like, I get it. The chia pet, he went after that market, like the people with the chia pet and marketed as a thing. That is crazy. That's
a pet rock.
A pet rock.
It's yours.
And now, speaking of chia pet, have you seen the new ones? I thought this was a spoof. They have the Bob Ross chia pet. You know Bob Ross?
Yes, I remember Bob. I used to love Bob Ross.
Little Van Dyke Brown. And give the tree some friends.
And there's a tree everywhere. Shitting out of space. The trees
everywhere. Just give it some friends.
Love Bob Ross.
They made the Bob Ross Afro Chia Pet, bro.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm not kidding you at all. Look this up. You can look it up. It is a fucking real thing. And it shows his ball and it's bling.
Bob Ross Chia Pet.
Yeah.
That's a shame that this dude is more famous now than he was when he was
a little bit of Van Dyke Brown. And I think he had kids or something that just didn't want to be a part of it. Like Bob Ross Jr. was like, no, I'll never grow my afro out like that. And it was a white guy with an afro.
Some bald guy in a trailer park.
Yeah, but he was cool as fuck. I wonder what he was like as a person. He probably was pretty unique guy. You know,
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, he had his afro, and he loved painting and stuff.
But I mean, he would paint like out of the blue, and all of a sudden, it starts to come to you. It starts to like, wow, oh, I do see the tree. Right. Oh,
right.
Yeah, he was
people who have like an eye for that stuff. It amazes me. I have a friend in Miami. Mm-hmm. She has her own photography business.
Yes.
Elaine Palladino.
Yes.
Check her out.
Yes.
When we go to Miami, we hang out with them every once in a while.
Yes.
But she's one of those people.
Actually, John Callier wants that contact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because remember we were talking about her in episode 8 in the van, and he said give her the number because he wanted.
Oh, okay.
Pass it along to someone. So,
absolutely.
Maybe you could just read it from the show.
I'll absolutely do that.
Yeah.
But she's one of those people that she has she'll see something and it'll just like something like will trigger her. Like she's always carrying her camera. Mm-hmm. She has a camera around with her all the time, and she'll see something, and all of a sudden she'll just and start looking, and it's hard to define. Like she'll talk about this depth of color was really nice, or the transition from this to this was something, and the like how the space between this and that was filled in.
The symmetrics of
the shit that I have no concept of. Only thing I can say is, that's pretty.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's pretty. That's all I got.
No, it's dope. When you have an eye for stuff like that, when you have a real passion for it and an eye for it, it's really refreshing because, a lot of people don't appreciate those kind of things.
Right.
And, I do the same thing, unfortunately, like with shirts and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I had a customer this week, and he wanted some stuff printed up, and he sent me some images, and they were very sparing. Like, they were grainy and this and that. And he's like, bro, it's not that. It's like, it's just a shirt. I was like, no, it's my shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm making it. You're wearing it. But it's still my work. And, I'm like, dude, I spent 3 hours touching up your artwork. And he was like, for real? I just wanted you to print it on. And I was like, no, because then it'll look like shit. And then you'll be walking around, who made that shitty shirt?
Who made it? Right.
Speaking of what you're wearing,
my Bronx Bomber shirt.
Bronx Bomber shirt. I thought that was pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it was. I was like, damn, are these the right guys? Like, I don't, because sometimes it's you don't know what they post on the internet. It's like wish list or I was like, I hope these are the right guys, and I'm like googling everybody, like, I hope I don't make this shirt and it's the wrong guys.
It's the wrong dudes. Like, who these?
Yeah, but that's a cool thing. So. Yeah. So yesterday was pretty eventful. Helped father-in-law move some stuff out of storage, and he's moving into a new place and stuff.
Oh,
and,
okay, nice.
A little closer here. He was way out.
He was way out in Suffolk County, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, that ride alone is like an hour and a half.
How far? Oh my God! So he was in Patchogue?
Patchogue,
yeah. That is a long ride.
It's so fucking far that the radio stations die.
They die. Yeah.
You get past the.
You start sitting static.
Start hearing, Stony Brook Point count, oyster counts.
It's about $1.50 when there's no traffic.
Yeah, it was, and thank God it was no traffic. I mean, onesie twosies. I mean, we saw a couple of weird accidents, which is par for the course after the potholes, right? After all the. This is one system that we just,
we can't figure this shit out.
It's nonstop. It's rain, snow, ice, plow. The plows rip the freaking ground up to oblivion, and then it's just pothole season. You used to do that. You used to count potholes in the city.
Used to count them?
Didn't you have a job?
Yes, I did. Potholes? That was like the first job I had.
It was like your first summer youth job. I remember.
It was a great job. It was a great job. We had to go around, and basically we had to determine whether these street conditions was the responsibility of the owner, or was it the responsibility of the city? So,
really?
Right. So you had to mark them down on maps. And I remember the first day I worked, they paired us up with people. The first day, this dude lost the map. And so we came back.
It's like the most important tool.
Yes, that's your tool.
Yeah,
that is what you use.
That's your hammer.
We came back and the dude lost the map, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I must maybe when we got that slice of pizza or something." I'm like, and I told the supervisor, I said, "Look, I I don't know what his problem is.
Right. Yeah, one job.
I want to be here.
Right.
So would you mind if I like did this a couple days like by myself on my own? And
okay.
I'll see if I can handle this.
That's pretty cool.
And it was great. I did this by myself all day, and they gave you the whole day to do it.
Yeah.
But it only took a half a day to finish. So I would bust it out and then go home.
Yeah, I remember very distinctly. You know, when you had, this was like your first job. Obviously, I'm younger, and I was like, oh, my brother's got a job. You know, it's like, great, he's working, and,
right.
And it was pretty funny. But I didn't know what you did. I just knew you did potholes. So
right,
guy counts potholes all day. I don't know how fun that was. But I was like,
every once in a while, like an owner would come out. What are you doing? What are you doing? You tell those fuckers that I ain't giving them shit.
Like, they better fix this.
Yeah.
They better fix these.
No, but that was a great job. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't know if Job Corps exists anymore. Does Job Corps exist?
I think it does. I think it does. I don't know to what level it is. And again, remember, like we said before, it's always, we don't really know because we're not in it. Right. So you don't know. I mean, some people like that. I think it does exist. Okay. I don't see commercials on it like it used to. But was that Job Corps?
I got that through Job
Summer
Corps.
Youth.
I got that through some summer youth program that gave you a minuscule job in the public sector. So for this case, it was the Department of Transportation.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, summer youth employment was a great program, or it probably still is. You know, with the battling of the wages and stuff. You know, but for me, I think it was $3.30 or something.
It wasn't a lot of money.
When it was back then. But it was a shitload of money.
It was money in your pocket. It was yours.
1984, or whatever year this was, 84 to 89, somewhere around there. It was a great deal of money.
And we had we didn't have any bills. So
right.
Whatever
so
is $85-$90, okay, but that's $85-$90 in your pocket.
Yeah,
so
but I went to like
pair of sneakers and
right. That's what I said. Like all my money I worked with summer youth, I just saved it for the school clothes that mom couldn't buy for us. Right. But you wanted to get something that was kind of
specific
one name brand thing at least, and I could freak it the rest of the week with switch the top and the pants.
Right, you can match up your stuff as long as I felt if I had if I had 2 pair of Lee jeans, I was good. I had a pair of Lee. I had like this powder blue pair, and I had a pair of brown. Remember the striped Lee jeans?
Yeah, I remember striped Lees. Yeah,
I had a pair of striped Lees in brown, and I had a pair of I guess it was like a Smurf blue. Because what they called
Smurf blue.
And so I would wear them, and I would change them. I would wear one on Monday, wear one on Wednesday.
Yeah, you got
and then at some point
you switch the tops.
Friday, you might wear that again with the totally different top and stuff like that.
Totally. No, growing up, those years were a stretch. That struggle was, when you hear kids today talk about, they have all this anxiety of teen anxiety and all this pressure and stuff. They don't know pressure like we have.
I don't get it.
Like the pressure, I can remember being deathly afraid of not having the right clothes, not having, the sneakers, the latest stuff, and all my friends had them, and they were going to tease and do all this stuff. And then on top of that, you didn't have, money. Like, some guys came to school, they were dipped out with the fresh Lees, with the permanent crease, and the
chain,
and the Kangos, and Gazoos, and Gazelles, and all this other goofy shit. And it was like, that was stressful. Because if you weren't a cool guy,
right,
you was getting punked out.
It determined it was a hierarchy.
It was a hierarchy.
It determined where you sat in that hierarchy.
It was super social at the time. I mean, there was so much pressure on kids to leave, and then the Levi's came out, and then it was snatch your Lee patch thing.
Take your Lee patch.
Take your Lee patch.
There's some dude I knew who had a just like a regular chain, but he would have patches on it.
100
patches on it.
The patches were crazy, man, because they were leather. They were leather patches, and I seen a jacket with all Lee patches, like a Lee.
Oh, really?
A Lee jacket. It's online actually. A Lee jacket made of Lee patches. It's all leather, just patches. Pretty fucking dope. It looks like an aviator type jacket, zippers and all kinds of shit. And fashion's changed in so many different aspects, but man, that's pressure. That's real, school pressure, bullying, and all that other stuff. There was always a bully in school. It was always somebody, I want what you have. Right. I don't need it, but I want it.
Yeah. but I want it. I gotta dominate you.
Yeah, man. So, but other than that, like, move stepdad out. It was great. You know,
how close is he now?
He's I think Farmingdale.
Okay.
You know, so it's a little closer than Patchogue, at least, and you know.
But that's Farmingdale's Nassau County, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it becomes now Nassau, which is okay, better than going all the way out there. Which
that's like
cool.
a 25, 30 minute drive.
Yeah, 30 some odd, better than an hour and 30. So it was cool. But my friend, has collected a shitload of shit. Like, and so my wife is explaining, like, Dad, you don't need this anymore. You're not fixing lamps and gonna, you know, wiring and all kinds of. And she's like, this is gonna be you. You're a plug fanatic. You all these wires and shit. You got a bunch in this box. You got another set that you forgot you had down here. This has shit in it. Flux capacitors all over the fucking place. She's like, this is a warning. She's telling me yesterday. She's like, this is your warning. This is you. 20 more years, 30 more years from now. This is you. Be careful. You better watch it. Throw this shit away. Because I'm like, Dad, what do you use this for? Like, really? I was like, what do you have this for? Like,
and he's got a reason.
Yeah, he didn't want to throw away anything. It was like, okay, we can throw it away. It was like, all right. But
that's actually good, though. That's actually the thing about when they say about people who hoard.
Yeah.
The thing you have to get them to do
let go.
Is you have to get them to understand that they should not have this anymore. Like, you can't just do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like take shit and just throw it away, because you'll throw them in a fucking panic, and then who knows what they'll do after that. You have to get them to agree, hey, you really don't need this anymore, do you?
So,
okay.
So interesting you say that. There was this a red toolbox, right? And the latch had broken and it had like tape on it, and it was full of fucking just junk. Like, now to me, I was like, oh, he's got an angle edge razor with it. Oh, that's fucking pretty good. Like, you know, little finds and shit. But the storage place was like upstairs and in a crazy attic, then like getting it down to where it go. And this fucking red thing just fell over every time I turned the corner. 100 pieces full of shit. I'm picking this shit up. Turn the corner, get down. Fuck. I said, I'm throwing this fucking thing away. She was like, he'll know it's gone. Don't do it. Because it was like bright red. And I was like, I'm chucking it. He doesn't need this shit. It's all trash. It's all garbage. And every time it falls, half the things fall out of it anyway, and I'm throwing them away. And she was like, no, don't do it. And the first thing he came out, he was like, oh, well, where's my red?
No!
I was like, I didn't throw it away, though. I didn't throw it away, but it's funny to see what you know, people hold.
People accumulate.
Yeah, you accumulate over the years. You start, you know, thinking you need this. But that is a thing that I'm grateful I had this experience this weekend, because
you saw it.
I saw it, and I saw how I am with shit. And I got a box of fucking plugs over there, a box over here. I got wires and plugs. And I'm like, I'm going to need this one day. You know, somebody's going to ask me to, you know, hook this up to this and convert this to that.
Right, exactly.
And so I'm always that facilitator guy. Like, I always think I want to help people do it. And I'm really just hoarding shit.
Like the guy, remember the Harlem Globetrotters cartoon? Where you had the guy with the afro.
He had everything.
They needed something, he would just pull it out of his hair or whatever.
What was his name?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
he would have ladders. He had to have tools. Fucking, you need a coffee cup or whatever.
That's me. That's me. I'm like,
oh yeah, I got this. Yeah. I just remember. Oh yeah, here it is.
Because when we were kids, me, Lonnie, and Ali was, you know, we were like the A team, right? You know, he was B.A. Baracus. Lonnie was Hannibal, and I was Face. You know what I'm saying? Face got you anything. You know, Face get you anything, whatever you need. That's you know, Face had.
Put a smile on.
Yeah. What was that? Scott Back. It wasn't him. That's Scott Back.
No, it was I can't remember.
Darius something. He had a funny like Durwood or something.
Yeah, Dirk. Yeah,
one of those weird like true quarterback names or something like that. Speaking of quarterbacks, Super Bowl next week.
The
great Brady. I was at a party went to a party last night after that. After all of that, I came home and took a nap because I was beat from moving couches and sofas. Went to a party, hung out with the old crew. My boy got a crib out in Jersey now.
Okay.
My boy Pat Brown. Shout out Pat Brown. Birthday party was awesome last night. Something chill out with his crib. What was the moral of the story? You know, like we don't assemble like we used to.
Right,
my whole crew. So it's like Voltron, right? Like everybody's like, you the arm, you're the head, we're all together. And damn near broke day. Got in like 4:00 this morning. It was
Ooh.
It was an hour and a half drive. So I went an hour and a half Suffolk this way and then an hour and a half south. I was driving my ass off all day yesterday.
I mean, your car's probably happy you're not doing anything today.
I guess that's why I'm so happy I'm not doing nothing today. Because it was like, you know what? I was just fucking just running around. But it was good to see my boys.
Yeah.
You know, and the crazy part of, like, you know, with guys is that no matter how long you don't see them, you pick up where you left off.
Pick up, yeah.
So the women always ask, "Did you see? Did he have the girlfriend? Is he still with the this? Is he still this?" And I'm like, we didn't fucking talk about that.
Yeah,
we kind of just had a drink and was like, "Yeah, good to see you, my guy." Blah blah blah. And we just go forward. We never go backwards and do the.
Why is it that women like think that there's like this agenda you follow?
It is not.
When you have this conversation, my wife asked me that same thing when we went out and watched the UFC fight a couple weekends ago. What'd you guys talk about? I don't know. We just
fucking sweat.
Exactly. Like we didn't like check shit off.
Right.
Okay, that's the kids.
Covered this. How the kids? The kids are good. Great.
No, they don't do that. That's what they asked us this when I say, hey, I'm shooting my brother's podcast. Oh, what do you guys talk about? I said, we just talk. We just catch up. So you guys don't talk about anything. I said, well, we don't just sit here and just like stare at the damn. No, we don't do that. We just like we talk. We have a conversation, and
it's and it leads to other things,
and then it leads to other things. There's no agenda. I mean, every once in a while we'll hit topics that we want to talk about, but there's no. So when people ask that, when people say, "Well, what'd you guys do? How about this?" I said, "This didn't. These are people I haven't seen in a while.
Right?
You caught up. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Talking all this shit, and then you see something. Oh, that's a."
But that's a guy code thing. There's really a disconnect between women and men on that level because. There's the unspoken, like men do not need to speak a lot of things, but you could see a guy and go, he's good. Hey, you say, nah, he's a little off. You know what I'm saying? He's not himself. Yeah. Because the guy you knew when you knew him last.
Right.
So to you, there is no it's like you hit pause on this, we take a break, and you come back and you pick up where you left off. That's what most guy friendships are about. They were always like, hey, last time I saw him, he had a Band-Aid on. He still has a Band-Aid on, whatever. I don't know. But that kind of stuff is really different, and I don't know why. I mean, I've asked that, and they'll tell you they don't do that. Women will say, no, I don't.
No,
I don't question where you're going. I don't question your friends. But I think for them, that's just as casual conversation as the casual conversation we have with the guys. That's just their only thing they could say because they may not know the guy.
Right.
So they're saying, how was he? Is he last they remember he was married to some girl? Is he still with her? Is it so? They also pick up from where they left off with their memory of the friend.
Their memory of that person.
And what you told them last. So I think that's the balance of it. I don't think they do it maliciously. It just sounds that way. It's like, what happened? Where did he go? I don't know, man. I don't know what he's doing.
It was on my fourth beer by the time he came.
Yeah, but because I was the designated driver, I was like, damn, I got to watch.
Oh, were you?
Well, yeah, I'm always there. Yeah. So, but listen, you get to a level, you have to know when you have to say,
right.
All right, I got about an hour and a half to get there in the rain.
Right.
Rain coming out. And it was raining last night like shit. And this is all I-95, so it's turnpike. Trucks driving by you and stuff. Man. So but we had a cool day. Just hung out with the fellas.
Nice. South Jersey, you said?
Yeah, New Brunswick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right by Rutgers College. He's got a nice crib, man. He really did. I was really proud of him. He did, came up, put the time in, put the work in. Him and his wife. They're the ones that brought me that Amarillo, that Irish coffee, South African cream
South
coffee.
African creamer? Okay.
Oh, fuck. And she had a big bottle. I was like, I'm going to take this from you. I'm leaving here with that. She was like, no, I'll get you more. It was great, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, shout out to Patrick and Tammy, the Browns, cool dudes. Yeah.
Were they always in Jersey?
Yeah, but he was in Belleville before, which was like kind of close. Okay. So the funny thing was, we kind of said, hey, he's having something over. Great, we'll just hop over the bridge and get there. Yeah. But he did send it, and this one people don't read, oh, blah, 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 here's the address, etc. And I'm like, I know where he lives. I just go over the bridge. Right. I knew a roundabout once I cross over, get on the 109 and go. And I look, and I punched it in the GPS. Thank God. Shout out to Waze. I mean, Waze just fucking kicks ass. put it in Waze, and I'm like, an hour and 40 minutes? What? I was like, no. Beep. I backed up, and I was like, let me make sure I did the address correct. And maybe I didn't put in the wrong city or state or something. And I was like, holy shit, where the fuck are we going? Then it was like, I'm out of my comfort zone. You know, when you're driving, you know where you're going. But then
you don't think about it.
Yeah, when you don't know where you're going, it's like...
Now you know everything.
You do a little hunch over.
Right.
You do the little...
Is it this corner? Is it this turn? Do I turn here? Do I turn there? Is it this exit here? Is it this way? Is this a two-way lane? Is this a two-way? You start thinking,
Your signs just like, the rules are, they're standard. Like, stop means stop.
Right.
Wrong way is wrong way. Like, don't go up, don't drive this way. Yeah, but it turned out to be pretty deep into the... New Brunswick, which I'm like, okay, it really said it on there. I just didn't look.
You just didn't look.
And then the worst thing happened as soon as you cross the bridge. Yo, bro, anybody going out to the party? I need a ride. I'm like, fuck. I mean, I had two of the homies with me. I had Mike and Baum with me. And then, B called in the last minute. Was like, damn, man. Like, what the hell? That's what the group text is for. Like, the one thing that a group text is useful for is to pass the same message
at the same time.
So that everyone, and if you read the thread, you could see what's happening. It's chronological. Okay, he said this. Oh, he's going there. He's not going. He's this, that. Cool. Yo, I'm leaving by so-and-so. Peace. Hit me up if anybody need anything.
Okay.
So at least I felt that I did my part by saying in the group message, great, I can't wait to go. I'll be there. So if anybody needed me, you should have chimed in and said,
not 5 minutes before you.
After I crossed the bridge, that was the worst part of it. Had it a bit, and it, picking one guy up in Brooklyn who lives like East New York, which is in the middle of Brooklyn. Like you get like, damn, Parkway's this way, inner boroughs that way. You gotta like drive through Brooklyn to get out. So, but other than that, it was all good. It was all good, and had some. Oh, so I guess we started this conversation by saying that there was a guy there who would not stop. First of all, he wouldn't stop dancing.
Wouldn't stop dancing.
And he was an older guy. And they had just gotten married like 10 days ago or whatever. And they were older, like maybe on their second and third marriage or whatever. But he just kept, the Great Brady! The Great Brady, baby! We're going to see the Great Brady! And I'm like, yo, I said, okay, I get it. I agree. He's definitely get. We'll put that money up, baby. Come on, the Great Brady. I don't see no money. You better put some money. If you doubt me, put it down. Put some money down. Tell me you want the Eagles to win. You wear your Eagle. The Great Brady. Yo, he was going off, dude. That motherfucker had a silk shirt on. And my man told me, he said, yo, this dude called in advance and was like, what kind of floors you guys have? So I'm like, wait. He called you? He said, yeah, he called and was like, he wanted to know what kind of shoes to wear because he went to do his little Scooby-Doo skipping, dancing around. He was like, downstairs we got wood floors, we got carpeted. All right, these are good. Like, he picked out his outfit based. Like, who does that?
Wow.
Who calls the house and be like, yo, you guys have hardwood or linoleum? I'm a backspin in your motherfucking house.
Have to coordinate.
Yo, he was one of those kind of coordinated guy. He had the jacket and all. Cool dude, but the Great Brady all night, man. He just could not stop. Man. And then this old couple came in because it was a mix. He did a cool thing because him and his daughter like have the same birthday, so they had like a combo, So it was like a bunch of kids and a bunch of adults, like 16-year-olds and the bridging between the gaps type of thing. And as soon as this guy walked in, I saw him get out of the car. He parked his car, smoked a cigarette, threw a cigarette on. And I was like, dude, Eagles fan, huh? What's up? Hey, guys ready next week? He's like, this is it. We'll find out. And I was like,
talk to him.
You got somebody in there that wants to see you. And he, ow! Where you got? Where's your money? Put your money. Yeah, the Great Brady. Yo, this guy, the Great Brady, man. Yo, he was on 10. I was like, yo, you have the official man crush on the guy.
He does, yes. He's probably jacked him off in his spare time. This Super Bowl is putting New York fans in a quandary.
Really?
Yeah. Because normally there's like a love-hate relationship between New York and Philly.
Yeah.
And then
division rival, I think.
Right, the division rivals and whatnot. So we don't care about Philly. And there's obviously this love-hate relationship between New York and the
New
Boston
England
teams.
or Boston.
New England, the Boston teams.
Yeah.
All sports. Basketball, hockey.
Yeah.
All the way around. And I remember somebody was interviewing people about the upcoming Super Bowl, and a lot of people were saying, "Yeah, I
don't care.
I don't really care this year.
Yeah,
I might not. I'm gonna watch it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too because while the outcome may be favorable, like everybody's kind of say, kind of really expect Brady to win this. When you look at the we said last time, the Vegas line. If he loses, somebody makes a shitload of money.
Well, if you're a betting person,
right.
I mean, number one, you always bet. You never bet the favorite. You always bet on the underdog. And
right,
so,
that's where the money is.
That's where the money is.
I mean, everybody can get the
right. You don't make
guy.
You don't make any money betting on Brady. I mean, unless they like whatever the line is, and if you say okay, well, he's not going to hit that line. So,
but I think that changes when they say he's hurt, then right, and then they say, well, maybe he's not the favorite. So let's go this way, and then you switch. And then you're back on the when he does win, it's
right, exactly.
He wasn't as hurt as you thought.
Right.
We won.
Right.
Yeah, but that's always crazy. But
somebody fucking I don't know who does this shit, but where they like light up the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Somebody lit up the Empire State Building with half New England colors and half Philadelphia Eagle colors, and a lot of people were like, "What the fuck is this? What New Yorker put up fucking half Patriots, half Philadelphia Eagles?" On the goddamn Empire State Building. You might as well just give the fucking city away. People were pissed, man.
Really? I didn't see this.
People were like, who the fuck? Who? Somebody should lose their fucking job over this.
The Weissman brothers who managed the Empire State Building.
Okay. The Weissman or Waxman?
Weissman. Weisfield. They're actually the...
You would know more than I would.
Well, they're the FUBU guys. They're partners with the FUBU guys because when they were in the building, if I remember correctly, yeah. And I know they I remember when they told me that they do they get the request.
Right.
It comes from the mayor and all this other stuff. And this because they get some kind of national funding, like state funding.
Okay.
Some state funding for the concession against on the power and regulation, etc. So, hey man, we pay the bills here, turn it on this way, the way we want it. And but that's interesting because if it's half, if it's shown from this way, it kind of depends on where you are, what half you see on the left and what half you see on the right.
Right. Well, I how that thing oscillates, I don't know. I mean, or if you could see just one side from one side view, I guess
right. That's kind of weird. I get it if you do it in tower like a popsicle, when they do it red, white, green. Yeah, bomb pop. Those are fucking fun. So, man, there's a couple of things I guess in news, right? Steve Wynn goes down.
What do you mean?
So Steve Wynn, owner of Wynn Hotels.
Wynn Hotels, right.
Plastic Man himself. Had the pleasure of working with him. Sexual harassment, man.
Really?
Got him.
Now, what does that mean, got him? Now, what does that mean?
So he's officially resigned from the GOP. He was a big GOP guy.
Okay.
Because of his financial contributions, etc. He's now stepped down because of all what's going on.
Really?
So this is having an impact on government now. Right. Like, how do you peel back the layer? Remember we kept talking about like these onion layers just keep what's the agenda?
So this is more than just an accusation. This is something that's legit. Like he actually whatever. Well,
no. It's still the same setup. Allegedly, some young lady said whatever. He said, this is we may have pat somebody on the butt and hey, go get him, girl, and that kind of stuff. And 20, 30 years later, it's like, oh, he made me feel so uncomfortable. Even though I cashed a check, even though I did the work, even though I got a job, even though I was this and that.
You see, this is what pisses me off.
Yeah, we've been going down that road a couple of times.
You conflate that. Now I don't know what happened or
correct.
What, and what the truth is.
Right. And we're not. I'm not saying, or you're not saying that this is right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just fucked up.
It's just fucked up that we conflate all of that with actual horrific stories of sexual abuse and sexual assault, like what happened to the Michigan State girls.
Larry Nassar.
This guy. I mean, this guy's a fucking monster. I mean, if all of these things are true, which it seems like they are. Yeah, this is a monster.
This guy's a fucking monster.
And
listen, my daughter's a young performer. She's obviously faced with people like she's got an opportunity to travel this week, go to LA to do a show, and they're paying her or whatever else. But I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't. Trust is everything, man. And I'm explaining to her like, listen, I will eat someone's face off for the violation. Like, and I'll do the 175 years. Because. That's That's horrific.
Yeah,
that those things are horrific. And like this girl, I mean, did you hear any of the testimonies?
I heard one.
The one girl who went on the shows. She's been public, Christy something or whatever her name was.
And that was enough for me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, I just I didn't want to do anymore.
But she I think it's her. She graphically said like when your eyes were rolling back in your head and he was getting off and giving them the exam and he was like. Doing the like, and they were like, what's wrong? And he was like, I think you have something on a bump or, and he was like jizzing on himself or something. Like
Jesus Christ,
this guy is and he's a little fuck. So I like what they with the Bette Midler sister on The View or whatever. She says these guys do well in prison. These guys will have a great career in prison.
Yeah, he's gonna have an interesting life.
He'll have an interesting career,
which is another point of contention because I posted an article from The Atlantic, which basically said that the judge made some comments when she handed down the verdict.
I just handed you your death sentence.
Well, and said something like, if there was anything more cruel I could give you, I would give it to you, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And that judge got a lot of criticism for that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of back, but I didn't hear what she said. Please.
Well, she said something to that effect. Mm-hmm. Something to that. I wish there was something more cruel that I could do to you, or something like that. Something to that effect.
That's almost just as bad as.
Well, yeah, and that's what this article did, and I posted this article, and I got some kickback for that because it made it seem like you're trying to go easy on this guy and stuff like that, and that wasn't the point. The point is that if you're, look, there's no sympathy for this dude. Yeah. I hope he meets all international cultures that are going to, he's going to Abdul, Raheem, Billy Bob, all
toss
those,
my salad.
All those, yes, he's gonna know all those people very intimately, and it's all well deserved.
I like mine with syrup or jelly.
That's right. That's right. And I can get 2 cartons of cigarettes for you if you wear another smaller size of those goddamn shorts.
So what did do you know?
She basically made a comment. She basically made a comment outside of the scope of what she's supposed to do as a sitting judge.
So at best she's supposed to just say, "Listen, here's your sentence. Hit the gavel and go.
Right.
See you in hell."
That's it.
Like
that's it. And so the comment was. So the article basically says that, hey, look, we have to make sure that in these systems that we place our trust in, that we do our best to remove the emotion out of it. Yeah, yes, there's a lot of emotion. And there's nobody here that doesn't believe that. There's nobody here that doesn't believe that this guy should have, his version of hell is going to be revisited to him, But that should not come out of the mouth of a sitting judge who presides on the case.
I agree with that. I think it's very important to have the system be as solid as you want it to be, fair as you want it to be, equal, and I think it's just as good to have it, really only deal with the issue at hand, and not the banter. It's almost like in sports, like the don't celebrate over the guy after the touchdown. Yeah, motherfucker, in your face. 2 points. You know what I'm saying? 2 points to me. So that's what that is. And what do they call that in celebrating? Is that what it is? In sports?
Celebrating? They have like a.
There's a term.
Football is like an excessive celebration, or
And
so, but they don't do that anymore because they let dudes. They kind of like relaxed on that.
Really?
So dudes in football were like choreograph shit like relay races and stuff like people like pulling money out of faking like they pulling money out and like making it rain and shit like that. So this, to me that's a little too far. But hey,
but that, in a courtroom that's not cool.
No, exactly.
If the judge dabs on you,
that's right. You're done.
175 years, dab on him. Like that's kind of fucking fucked up.
Right.
But listen, I hope he gets everything he deserves. And now what I don't know what's this with this family, that this German family or Russian family or whatever it is that's been running this thing for so long.
Running the
it's a husband and wife duo that run this team. They're the trainers. They're the Frugen Glaja or whatever.
I didn't read any more about that.
They're the ones that have let this go on. Like, that's their doctor. They're the ones that have been said, "Hey, this is our guy." When people came to them, because they run the camp, they run this thing, and they were telling them, "Hey," they said, "Oh, honey, it's okay. It's your first time."
I know it. Right.
It's your first time.
I know a couple people resigned.
But these guys fled the country. They left.
Oh, the people who run the camp?
They left. They were back in Sweden or somewhere. They went for some place that I guess you can't, because they have like this farm, like a camp and a farm. I want to look it up but see it. But man, they are the ones that are really the guilty ones. Like,
then you have to. Then I think the state has to decide if they want to like press charges on them and attempt to extradite.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the whole thing we said a few shows back. Somehow, because they're the European accent, they were easily fooled. Everyone thought they were the officials of this. They just had this. They just had this presence of being European, that their way was the best, and it was the best thing for the kids. And it was, and they said it. They said, "We've not looked into this at all. Like, we didn't look at these guys for 30 fucking years. They've been running this thing, and it damn near was a brothel. Like, it was." And I don't know how much. And they said the young girl who testified and said her thing, she said they were just too cheap, like to give us individual. She said the guy would come to their room and examine them, like in their hotel rooms. That's fucked up. Like, they couldn't give him a table, a special room to do exams. He'd go up to each of the girls' rooms. Oh my God, this guy was a fucking panty sniffer.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
He deserves everything he gets.
Yeah, man.
Everything he gets.
He does. So in news, Vanity Fair.
Oh, shit.
The cover of Vanity Fair this year. I guess because all the Oscars and all this other stuff going on, Photoshop fail.
A Photoshop fail?
Fail.
Okay.
So the Vanity Fair is a pretty prestigious magazine.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
It's worldwide.
Yes.
I mean, when I opened the hotel in London, they were the first people to cover it. It was like, okay, you can leave now. We're gonna start filming. I was like, okay, I'm working here. Like, I'm trying to get this shit. I gotta get this shit in place.
I ain't just some dude. I'm
setting up this shit so you could have the photo shoot and do all this stuff. And they were like, get the fuck out of here. Like, but they put Oprah with Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
She's got her arm around her, but then there's another hand underneath here, Oprah's hand, and it fucking went out. It came out. So Oprah was cool about it, and Reese Witherspoon was cool about it.
So basically, Oprah has two right arms.
And she says, Reese Witherspoon. Say it.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon.
She had a third leg. Her leg was under the dress, and then you saw her other leg over here.
And this got published?
Yes! The fucking idiots published it. Like,
So nobody caught this.
Dude, I am appalled. Now, I'm in the proof in business. I make T-shirts. I send them to customers, and I'll send stuff to people, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it's cool." And I go to print, and they 10 minutes later, "Oh, I noticed that the thing on the." I said, "Well, why'd you say it was approved? Like, why'd you say it was cool?" And you overlook it. You look at it once, and you go, "Okay, fine." That means you're too busy. You're too preoccupied, and you're just not paying attention.
Right.
So this guy fucking printed. The guy who did it must have gotten his ass kicked and reamed out because. Now, Oprah, thank God, she went on and says, I'm known for many things now. It's great to have more hands on deck. She did it really well.
Right.
And
let them off the hook a little bit. Because if she'd have had a hissy fit, that would have been even more. Well, you figure that whole there has to be like a whole line that actually looks at this thing before they say.
Wait.
Yes, before whoever says it.
That means that
several people go. This goes through several people, and they just pass it on.
But this goes to what we talk about all the time. People are so distracted by nonsense, banter, Twitter, and Twitter banter, and who says what, that they missing the point of
Now let me ask you a question.
Attention.
Could it be?
Yeah. A
they said,
yeah.
Look, ain't nobody been looking at this magazine for a while.
I was going there, man. I was going there.
If you do some weird shit like this that's like not helpful,
I was going there, scratch it off. I was going to go
something
there.
That's really not harmful. Not, it's not like, we got a picture of her like getting fingered or something like that.
It wasn't no goofy shit.
Just another hand, another leg, ha 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 ha, Maybe we can get some attention that we didn't get before.
I'm assuming so, because there are plenty of people saying, Vanity Fair still around?
Right, exactly.
I'm sure somebody in the Twitterverse, because this thing went viral, millions of people chimed in on it, and 20 million and 30, it's big. It's like, oh my God. And so every news press and media was, oh, we got to cover this. Oh, the fail. Is it big? Is it not? Is it this?
Right.
Is it not? And it's like, wow, it worked. Like, the fuck up became the thing. So
because now you got attention.
You got attention that you didn't have before.
Right.
So you are right. I think you're right. I think it's very much so that they kind of
it got to a certain point, and they said, well, this might be interesting.
I think it may have happened the way you said it. Like they must have hit Oprah and was like, yo, we kind of botched this thing up and we printed the first round of it. It's kind of fun.
It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. Yeah. And she said, all right, cool.
Tell me what you think. This is...
I think Oprah could do that. I think Oprah could do that. If Oprah could just sway them to say, you know what, don't waste paper. Like, imagine that conversation.
Right.
We printed 80,000 copies of this thing and it's already done. And Oprah says, listen, save a tree. Let it go. We'll clear it up.
We'll clear it up. We'll have fun about it. And
if that was stuff, I would love to hear that side of it saying.
That first phone call.
Yeah. Not the, hey, we fucked up, but I would really like to Oprah's response, or Reese, or any one of these people, to be like, no, man, let's not reprint paper. Like, let's not waste things. We're, be human about it, and we'll just cover. We'll just say, hey, we admit it. We're fucking human. And it would ease the pressure a little bit. But I think a lot of the press got, hey, this is a great story to cover. This is great. And it's the front cover. It's this and that. So, man, those are some crazy things. But when you mess up a gig, Oprah's two hands and then like Photoshop, like
so
James
you don't
Franco
know where
out.
the edit button is on your Photoshop shit, where you can like rub that off. And
but they did Photoshop James Franco out of it too.
Oh, he was in the photo?
He was in the photo, yeah.
Okay, why they photo? What particular reason?
Sexual allegations. Sexual allegations. The demasculination of business on all fronts is happening.
Yes.
It is happening.
It is. And I think another example is, who is that that actress? What's her name? Laverne Cox?
No, okay.
She's a transgender actress. Which I don't know if she's a man or she's presented herself as a female, so so I guess she transitioned from male to female. And she's one of the actors on Orange Is the New Black.
Oh, really?
Right. Huh. She was on the cover of some magazine. I can't remember which one. I think it was Cosmopolitan. Mm-hmm. Whatever. And she's like the first transgendered actress on Cosmopolitan magazine in a very sexy outfit.
Okay.
Right. So now it begs the question. If that was so I'm supposed to appreciate that, which I do.
Right.
Okay. But now
it's visually
it's visually aesthetically appealing. Uh-huh. Now, if that was a female and I found that appealing, if that was a straight female that I found appealing, I all of a sudden, or men in general all of a sudden, are
you're a gawker,
potential gawkers and stuff like that.
Huh.
But I can appreciate a transgendered female's physical beauty with no issue.
It's very interesting.
So that's right. So just your straight woman with a pretty smile, nice tits, a great body. If that's pimped on a cover, it's a demonstration of a patriarchal, misogynistic society that just wants you to like salivate over women and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but if that is all of a sudden a transgendered female,
it goes away.
Then all of a sudden I'm no longer those things.
It's almost charity. It's almost like I did it. Yeah,
right.
I'm charitable.
That's a quandary.
That's fucked up.
Men are fucking confused. I don't get this shit.
Yeah, this is.
I don't get.
You hit it on the head. I mean, that is a very confusing and conflicting way of demasculinization.
It could be very conflicting. And props to Laverne Cox. This has nothing to do with Miss Laverne Cox.
No, she's great on the show.
Great. She's a fantastic performer, and there's no disrespect to her whatsoever. But at the same time, it puts people in a quandary. Like if I'm supposed to look at her and appreciate her for her beauty,
right?
Then a straight female I should be able to appreciate in the same way.
Okay,
right?
well, let's go there as we normally do. This is kind of no different than the affirmative action in the 70s, that when the black guy with the afro shows up to work, he got the job because you can't tell him he can't have the job. And even though he was qualified, or he was enough qualified, he got the job. And this is everyone at the office going, hi. Yeah. And they hate him. But they don't know why. Or maybe they have feelings towards him because they don't know him.
Right.
But it's awkward.
It's that awkward.
The coffee machine's over there, and doing. You got to kind of usher it in. So I'm not saying it's equal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is an equal plight, but it is that same equal awkwardness where you have to accept something. You're being forced to accept something that wasn't organic. A legislation made you do it. Some sort of ruling made you accept.
Made you accept something.
This guy coming into the workforce, and all being right, wrong, or indifferent. Like even though it's right or wrong. So
in other words, your perception is going to dictate how you feel about that more so than the reality of it.
I think so, especially when you're being told to do it. So when the memos came out to all these corporations, and you have to hire 2% black African Americans, I don't care how you do them, just get them.
Right.
Get them there. The government passed the law, or else you guys will be fined for not participating in the affirmative action plan, or whatever it was. That can be skewed to look at the same way. Right. It looks at it like, wow. So now let's ask that question. Is this something that could happen on paper with laws of saying, hey guys, you got to have 2% African American, you have 2% transgender, you have 1% aliens, and
Well, I mean, some people are trying to do that. Some people are trying to establish an egalitarian society in which things are broken down to a sense of what is equal, equality of outcome should be our goal. Right. That's what some people are trying to achieve. But not realizing that there are other factors into why there is no inequality, and some people will say, you know what, inequality is good. Yeah. Unequality is good. The fact that somebody is better at something than somebody else, and that person does, who do you want running your company? Correct. Do you want the guy running your company wouldn't you want cakes. That guy? Yeah, exactly.
This guy makes an awesome cake.
Do you want that dude? Do you want that dude and the dude that's sweeping up to be just as smart as each other, or just no? You don't. You want the dude running the company or the female running the company. You want that person to be smarter, have a little bit more business savvy, have a little bit more aggressiveness when it comes to doing business. You want those qualities. You don't want equality in that case. You want the best person that's possible for that. Yeah, if somebody decides that they're gonna give you their business to print some T-shirts, well, they don't want you to be just as good as the other person. They want you to be a cut above something else.
Yeah, I agree. Good point. That's true, because I mean, normal is normal, right? I mean, people get bored with normalcy. Everything if it's just plain Jane, steady Eddie, it gets very stagnant. And people lose interest in it when they say the natives are getting restless, right? Everybody's sitting around.
And you're potentially become destructive.
Very. Like I've been at parties and you can't get the music right, and people are kind of sitting idle, and you're like, the natives are getting restless. They're going to start rallying. Someone's going to get excited. Someone's going to rile up and say, what the fuck is going on here? We put some music on or whatever else. I went to a wedding. Me and my wife went to a wedding. It was years ago. I think maybe in the late 90s or something. And the catering fucked up.
Oh, shit.
And everyone was kind of all dressed up at this hall and all this stuff. And it was like, shouldn't we be having cocktail hour now? Like, what the fuck? There's a little hors d'oeuvres or something. And you see a motherfucker come in the door, beat Popeye's chicken. And And we're like,
Popeyes.
it's a fucking wedding. And they brought Popeye's chicken, and the guy,
shit.
you see it was across the street.
Uh-huh.
So you see the guy, traffic and shit, and he's like, I got it, bust down the door, boom, and everybody was like, the food's here. Like, people were just like so antsy because like you're supposed to be eating and walking around and socializing, and we're getting fucking Popeye's tender strips. Hey, you got more of that sauce over there. You got all this.
Right.
It was so fucked up.
And there's no way you could have had enough chicken for everybody.
No.
There's no way it's possible.
The guy literally kept running back and forth with these bags, and it's like you're bringing the same shit over. It wasn't no assortment. It was either mild or spicy.
Just bucket here, bucket there.
And he was just dumping it into like chafing dishes to make it look like it was a selection. And no tongs, no fucking nothing. It was fucked up. It was, and I think he's divorced like 3 times after that or whatever. I mean, it didn't work out. I think he got divorced like literally like
the day after.
Something like that.
This shit ain't working out.
Something ain't right in France.
That's right.
That's kind of crazy.
We wanted chicken parmesan and fucking prime rib, and we got a fucking 2-piece.
You know, those events like that, like weddings and all, catered events, and you know the choices are, you know, it's chicken, beef, or whatever, and vegetarian meals, etc. And those things are like always, you can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the cocktail hours and what did we say before, like the Viennese, the ending?
The Viennese hour when you have your desserts.
Those 2 hours are the area where you get kind of flaky and do a little off skew.
Yeah, you can be a little...
Yeah, you can get a little weird with those. And I think that's where people misunderstand. Like the meal is just the meal. Like that's the basic meal. You get a prime rib, like you said, they're all the same. Right. You go to every one of these catering halls, they're all the same. They're cooked in butter and salt and it just, they all taste the same. They taste exactly the same. And then there's, you know, but that little coffee hour, Vietnamese hour, or the cocktail hours where you get all the fucking shrimps. And
you get some little shrimps, some cold cuts, some fresh cheeses, some seafood. Maybe you get a pig. I went to one where in the cocktail hour they had a whole pig, roasted pig. I loved it.
Great,
fucking crispy skin. When I see it, I grab the ear.
Yeah,
and just crunch it like pork rinds. Like.
That's fun. That's always fun. That's why we can't wait for like summer season to come back, for barbecue season. And one of the things I picked up from my father-in-law was he had a nice grill, like a little mini grill. And you know, when I don't want to spark the big grill up, he was like, take it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've got it in the back now.
So you got a grill to get the grill like the 2.0.
Yeah, but now I got to go buy the smaller tanks. You know, it takes the small propane tanks, the Coleman's, like the little. But those you can get in Dick's. You get them, you know. Those are fun because you can just fire them up quick and do that.
You want to just want a steak.
Yeah, I kind of want that indoor grill though. There's an indoor grill, smokeless and odorless type of thing. Yeah, I want that. I'm a sucker
gadget
for it.
dude.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for it all, man. It's just one of those things. But
you're a gadget dude. You're gonna get one of those. Apparently they got these like fake dolls now.
No, fuck that.
Where you
listen. This is not new. This phenomenon is not new.
But it's very, very real. It's about as realistic as it gets.
This thing is it's picking up steam. I've seen it. It's becoming a little viral, and people are like, "Hey, they dropped the price on the." You know, I'm like, this is not something we should be.
They dropped the price on the Norwegian ones. The Asian ones are still a little high.
Yeah, but where do you put it when you fucking don't need it? Like when it sits on the couch.
Put it in a chair.
It's really fucking creepy, man.
With a book to read.
Those things are fucking creepy looking, man. They're really scary looking. Anybody that does that is a fucking weirdo.
Yes.
Like, you're a fucking weirdo.
I agree.
Even if you had a blow-up doll, like, you know, back in the days when they had the blow-up dolls and stuff, you're a fucking weirdo. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own.
To each his own, but...
to each his own.
It's... I don't even know what the fuck to say.
I don't even know what to say about it either. Because, listen, I've never had the desire to do a fake doll or a pocket pussy or a fucking one of these, weird toys and shit like that. But, I don't know. They're just getting weirder and weirder. Like, the more things you can build and make and gadget.
I guarantee you, at some point, there's going to be somebody that's got a house full of these things. And they treat him like he's got, like, a fucking harem.
A family?
of chicks, and he's got a couple in the dining room and a couple that got their room upstairs and a couple got the thing. I guarantee it.
You gotta be fucked up. Like,
guarantee somebody's gonna drop dead. Coroner's gonna come in the house, and they're gonna say, "Yo, there's like 9 fucking
dolls in here,
life-size dolls in this goddamn house."
You got to be fucked up guy to do. I mean, character to have this type of thing. But you know, they say this about like necrophiliacs and stuff like that. The people that have dead people, you know, where they keep them. And
well, remember the dude. There was a person that lived next to somebody on where'd they live? I think it was on 193rd. Next to 193rd. Somebody. There was an old guy that lived in a house, and he was an old guy, and he would always come to his house, and every once in a while, like, we'd be making too much noise outside. It was across the street from Rodney Jones' house. Okay, and he, you know, every once in a while we'd make too much noise, and he'd pop his head out and stuff like that. And I remember one time there was an ambulance, and we just thought that he just lived by himself. So it was an ambulance. Coroner came, and they had 2 bodies.
Oh shit!
Came out.
You're not talking about Mr. Bob, are you?
No, not Mr. Bob.
Okay.
The 2 bodies came out, and we would.
Where'd they come from?
2 bodies, and we overheard somebody saying that this dude had a bunch of uncashed Social Security checks that were never cashed, and apparently, this dude's mom had died like dozens of years before,
and she still was there,
and she was still in the house.
Huh.
He still
that's what I'm talking about. That's
in the house. Now, what he was doing with her, I don't know. But the simple fact that he was still in the house, like a fucking Bates Motel shit. Yeah. Like,
he probably was putting creams on her. And
probably was
putting air fresheners around. Ma, you're smelling a little funny today, Ma.
Whatnot. I mean, this. I think the worst thing you could do is every once in a while you got to realize that some people are just fucked up. And they can't, like that those people in California that had their kids captive.
Fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
But then the one kid went to college, like, and he was out and about every day. Like, he went to school every day. The son. I think weren't all the girls, like, girls were all captive. Yeah, I didn't read enough about the story, but it's just horrible.
The girls were captive, and they've been captive for so long that they didn't have a concept of, like, what a doctor was, or what, and you know, they wanted to examine them, and they didn't understand what an examination was, and all that stuff like that. And so, and they had them there ever since. I think the oldest one was 19.
Yeah, it's my wife sees a lot of that crazy stuff in her line of work. And I remember one time she came home and said, "We found this girl in the basement of a specific religious group. I won't say; it'll get crazy." And they told them, "We'll sue you if you print this." And they said she was so bad that her panties had ripped into her skin, and the skin healed over the panties.
Oh,
and like how? Like, she was so filthy. She was in her own defecation and feces and period juice and all that goofy stuff. And they was like, if this agency, we will sue this whole agency if y'all print this. She was a member of a religious community, and they were very adamant about who they know and who who's the constituents and etc. And it was like, keep it quiet, And that
was from the city, or that was from the.
They told the parents? City. The parents told the parents went to the city agency, because she works for a city agency, and told them, if you guys publicize this, we're going to hit you with everything from defamation of character. You're going to have this group on your ass, and we know this one, etc. This is a personal and private matter. We'd like to keep it that way.
Fuck that.
And it was like, what? And the meshing of the panty line over the skin grew over it. Like, you imagine having underwear built into you.
Well, just the virtue of having that conversation means you're wrong.
Yeah, no.
Having that conversation means that you at least have the concept of knowing that this is not how you should be treating somebody who is your family, and this is not how you. This is not well parenting.
Like, I mean, but even at worst, a dog you don't even treat a dog like that. Like, why would you have the dog and you just leave him in and let him shit in his basement?
We see people do that, unfortunately, all the time.
No, I know, but guess what? Let him go. Like,
yeah, right. Let the fucking thing.
Let him go.
Why are you owning it? Let the thing go find its own.
He'd have a better chance outside and being picked up as a stray, or maybe getting hit by a car and put out of his misery, whatever. Right. But to sit and
to keep it in misery, keep it being miserable.
Miserable. I mean, that's
a tremendous thing. I'm trying to, if there's like something that I'm very, very curious about, is that how
animals?
No, not animals. Is that how can you claim that you love something, but treat it to a point where its destruction is more like the only innate thing you can do is destroy this thing.
Yeah.
But it's your offspring, it's your child, it's your the Nix Marie Brown story is a story that haunts me.
Yeah,
it literally haunts me all the time. I see that young girls smile every once in a while when I close my eyes.
I'm surprised they haven't done a movie yet, or did they?
Well, I don't know.
I'm surprised.
But it's just knowing that this, like, the amount of torture that somebody could instill upon a child.
I mean, you got to be it's no different than it's funny how we got there. We're talking about the guy having a doll and doing this. So maybe that's the answer. Get the fucking doll.
Get the fucking doll. Maybe you leave the kids alone.
Leave the kids alone and get the fucking doll.
Maybe.
That may be the switch, the trade-off.
I mean, maybe if you say, well, look, why don't you let us have the kid and we'll give you this doll.
Yeah.
We'll take care of the kid.
Beat it up, shit on it, piss on it.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do with this doll. Why don't you let us have the kid?
Good point. I think we just solved the problem.
That's right. Get some dolls.
Get dolls for these
whatever you are.
Necrophiliac maniacs, pedophiles.
Crazy, can't take care of kids, don't want them.
And now let's make the dog. Let's make the dog, the pet, fake pets.
Nah, just no chains.
What's that?
Like let the dog run away. Let the thing go.
Damn, I can't remember. The fucking movie with the In the Dark or whatever it was. Damn. Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe.
You seen this shit?
No.
Oh man, it's similar to it's about a guy, an army guy, and he had the girl chained up in the basement or whatever else. And he was blind. Okay. So his house was completely like rigged. Okay. He had a bomb blow up on him. But these kids were they set to rob him. They were robbing houses, and they go in and they go. They said, "Yeah, well, this guy. The story is he's a Vietnam vet, and he was awarded this, and he took his thing in cash." $350,000, and
so he's got some cash.
He's got cash. He doesn't have any bank accounts. They've been scouting the guy out, and they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna rob this guy." He said, "What? It's an old man. He's a hermit. He never comes out of the house. He eats cat food and shit. And we'll go in there, push him over, and take the money and find a safe, And the guy, his kids, like they go in and do this shit, and they go into this fucking house, and it is like. It shuts down, and they're like they can't get out of this fucking thing. It's like a maze. It's all rigged with shit, and they're trying.
Don't breathe. Huh?
Don't breathe. It is fun. And then the girl he had, and it was like kids missing and stuff. So now they figure, oh shit.
So they attach it to
the kid was downstairs, and the kid. Oh, it was a major twist into it. It's not a spoiler. The movie's been out like 4 years ago, but the girl that he had down. The reason he was keeping her captive is that his daughter was killed in a car crash or something like that. He took the girl that killed her in the car, found her, kidnapped her, and impregnated her, and said, "You owe me a baby. You owe me you owe me a kid." And chained her up until she had the baby. He says, "As soon as you have my baby, I'll let you go. But I need my kid back." So he was literally gonna make a new baby, chained her up with a turkey baster. He did it, semen in a turkey baster.
So he didn't have.
He said, "I'm not a monster. I don't have sex.
I'm not a monster.
I'm not a monster. I just want my baby." And he turkey basted her. Fucking horrible. And then the girl, you gotta see it. It's really on the lines of that. Lock you up. Let me have my way because I'm selfish. I want my stuff. I want, and that's the fucking fucked up thing, though.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. That's a crazy movie, and it's mind you, it's pretty. It's one of those dark, running in the house. Like, okay, my house,
like single person view, like a point of view.
Yeah, a little bit. But let's cut the fucking shit here with these movies that happen in houses. I have a decent sized house, 3-bedroom, whatever, upstairs, downstairs. You ain't running around here and not going. And there's nowhere to go.
But so many places you can go.
So what fucking kind of houses are these that have these different back doors? You could go through the walls and come around the back and do all the. Where are these houses? Like people beneath the stairs with Roach and all that. You remember that movie? It's an old one.
Oh, people underneath the stairs. Yes.
This fucking.
They were living in the wall. They were living in the crawl spaces.
Like your crawl space, your walls had walls.
Yeah,
that's like Jeezy. My room's got rooms. No, nigga, those are closets. we call those closets.
Those are closets. Those are nice closets. You got great closets.
My house so big, my room
closets.
Yeah. So Ingvar Kamprad died at 91. He was the founder of IKEA.
I saw that. I saw that on my newsfeed.
Said this guy's empire was super $900 billion or some shit. Some crazy number, and he died with like. But he was like an old Swedish fascist or something. He had like
really?
Yeah, he was like super war criminal type of guy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He's got a big backstory, and it's funny, like all these guys that amassed these fortunes of thing. Like remember the Denzel movie we talked about, Inside Man?
Oh yes, okay.
Like how the story was really about the war criminal,
right,
who had amassed this money and made these banks,
and
all this stuff.
Made a bank and whatnot.
And that was why the crime was happening.
That's why it was perpetrated.
It wasn't for the money. It was to take back the people's money that he had stolen from, Nazis camps or concentration camps. Right. That's where they stole everybody's gold and stuff like that. That's a crazy concept of, during war. Like people talk about stealing all people's
land and
property, land, coins and stuff like that, and becoming gazillionaires. Like, it's a different time.
He's got to have douchey grandkids.
Gotta have. Yes.
There's got to be like a slew of just fucking. Where's my fucking jet at? God damn it! I want a burger. I want a burger from fucking Belgium.
I want the cow here, and you grind them up and give it to me. Segue, but not too far off. You familiar with Everyday Struggle, the show? No, it's a YouTube podcast, Joe Buttons and all this other crazy shit. It's been going crazy now. It's been getting very hype, and they kicked him off the show or whatever. He quit or whatever.
That was his show.
Well, he had Joe Buttons podcast, and then he took Complex and got super popular because of his view, and he was always this arrogant. Joe Buttons is Joe. You know what I'm saying? Joey's always been that arrogant fucker. I was on a plane with him one day, and he was just as fucking arrogant.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, and he was bugging out on the plane. He was doing a lot of. Yeah. Anyway, so they replaced him with Star from Star and Buck Wild. Remember the old Star?
Oh, okay.
Star and Buck Wild. Troy. It was Troy from fucking Plainview,
right.
Scotch Plains,
New York.
So, and he's such a character in himself, and he's like, I'm not a fucking fan. I'm nobody's dick rider and this and that. And he really put the fire on the show. Like he really just kicked it up a notch to the point where it's like the guy, Academic, the co-host, who really took that show to another level. All props to those guys. They really put that show on the forefront and made it like a real thing. I say this to say is he said one line in there that I could not believe, and I was so and here it goes. And this is how I'm going to segue to what we just said. They were talking about the topic of genre, right? Like why isn't rap just have the legacy like rock? Okay. And how rock guys tour for 20 years. Rappers for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, tours go on for 6 months, etc. And they're getting better now. They're going longer and they're going city to city. But rock guys like tour 20 years straight. You hear Rolling Stones still on tour from fucking 1950, whatever. And he made an interesting comment that I thought was marvelous. And I'm gonna get it wrong, but I'll clean it up later or something. But he said, what most people don't understand about trying to associate rap and rock is never gonna happen. It's just rock, paper, scissors. It's two different things.
Two different things.
He said, but what people don't realize or didn't know is that rock was the voice of the voice of the youth of the kids of the wealthy.
Okay.
So all their dads who had these jets and companies and all this other stuff, they became the garage and they had free time. They made songs about fuck my dad, fuck his company. Right. I'm living on my own. You know what I'm saying? Counterculture. Right. Rap. So they said that rock is the children versus the machine. You know what I'm saying? Rap became the voice against the machine. However, the voice of the disenfranchised. Like, we don't have this, but we wish we had this. We wish we had
the legacy money.
Yes.
Okay.
So he said it much better than I could. I mean, I don't even know if that's a thing, but that should be a fucking quote. I mean, that he really broke that down and saying, and again, he was opinionated.
That makes sense, yeah.
But it made sense. It made a shitload of sense that these kids are the product of the Rage Against the Machine type of things where they're like, we don't need all this geopoliticalism. We don't need this. We don't, the Pink Floyds, all this was against a revolution of people just wanted to be this free hippie love kind of thing.
Rap wants to get in.
Yes.
Rap wants to get in. The rock was basically saying, this shit ain't all that cracked up to be.
Right. We all and those guys were doing it for no money. Like the rock guys were saying, we the money's not us. We don't need the money. They wear fucking same clothes the whole tour. These guys want wardrobes. They want $100,000 clothes and bags and all this money. All that goofy dumb shit that they do.
Well, it's interesting because what we're probably starting to see now in very small doses is like what happens when sort of hip hop grows up, and when hip hop becomes like, this is like the first batch of people, and it hasn't, the guys who we were excited about when we were like 18, 19 years old. Yeah. A lot of those guys are not still doing that anymore. No. And so it's curious. I mean, there's I would love to see a series of like Tribe concerts or like dudes like Grandmaster Flash and stuff like that. I mean, I'm curious as to how that would be. Yeah. But then it begs the question, like, how does this, if that is your analogy, if that's the analogy, then once you are there, how does that message then translate as you play it back to people who are no longer, you're no longer disenfranchised?
Yeah, they're disconnected.
Is that a disconnect there?
Yeah, but a guy I was talking to last night, at the party was we had this conversation and we brought it up and we said the same thing, and he said, but aren't we doing it? Isn't it happening now? Like, no one sees themselves get fat in the mirror. It takes time,
right? And
so you have Jaden Smith, you have Blue Ivy. You have the next generation of the rich kid. You have Puffy Combs, Justin. You have all these guys. Albie Shore's son. You got the kids of the generation that kind of made it. And this thing that Swiss Beats calls Black Excellence. What I'm saying? He's always pushing this. So they showed, speaking of the Grammys, like all these guys at the Grammys. Saying, man, you got Diddy, you got Khaled, you got Jay-Z, you had all these big shots, you had all these artists, and they're all, I guess preaching the prominence of it, saying we're kings. Like, do you not recognize that we're kings, and we have to really love ourselves in order for us to grow and go past. We can't keep saying we're disenfranchised.
Right.
We can't. You know what I'm saying? So that has to happen at some point. We have to say no. We came up. My dad was a musician. The legacy.
Right.
So the 444 rule of what Jay-Z is putting out, this Bible of how to become prominent is fucking genius.
Yeah.
It's really ingenious, and it's a smack in the face. It's like, wake the fuck up.
Right.
Stop calling yourself broke. Stop saying we from the hood. We, this is the Jacks. This is the PJs. I'm thugged out here, homie. No, you have a fucking yard and
right.
two families and, rake leaves, man, shovel snow. You're not in the hood.
Right.
So, this desire to be hood when you don't have to be, I think that's almost as fraudulent as, a fake rapper. Like, when they say he's a phony, he's a fraud. Right. Yes, that's like, don't come out with this music that you're so ghetto and you so dope and when guys that weren't doing it, like that's really fraudulent.
Right.
To speak that talk, to talk that, I get the chicken, the powder, and all this other stuff, and coke. Like the drug talk to me is so whack when you're not in it.
When you're not in it.
You're not in it. No one cares. Like you're talking about flipping birds and there's a lot of guys that were disenfranchised and had to do that to get there, but you guys made it better. So what is that? I guess that's what you just said. What does the new music sound like? It sounds like fucking Jaden Smith's album. Yeah. It sounds like a kid that doesn't need anything. He's not rapping about, murdering and killing people and he's rapping about this geopolitical, y'all want this, we just want peace. We're the generation of peace. We love each. He's kind of got a love, but he's spitting it rapid fire with a little bit of. That's why I like that album. I really thought he did a good job of meandering in his space of. I'm not a fucking ghetto kid. Like I'm not a rich. I'm in touch with the people. He does not have. Pork and beans stories, hardship stories. Right. And he doesn't pretend to, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I think that is what we just mentioned of saying, how do you get it to be organic and how do you get, and at what point do we stop saying, we were slaves, you know what I'm saying? What point do we write our own history? And I think the 444 is doing it. I think that rule, if we followed at least that and said, you know what? Like, we buried the hatchet a long time ago. I mean, this new disdain and hate for Trump and all his rhetoric and stuff. We kind of like, where did I put that? Where did I put that hate at? Where did I put that hate at? Because I can remember, a good time of, in the Obama administration where things were kind of just mellowed the fuck out. Like, okay, we get it. Now, our biggest thing was just ISIS and foreign guys. And they weren't even really the problem. They were just things, But people would hang out, commune, be at bars. They would, yo, what's up, bro? How's it going? Now you get the bro. I'm not your bro. like so testy and very. So I think that is the answer to where this generation of music is going. I think we're witnessing it it's happening to us now. So you would see later, a Jay-Z. Tribe Called Quest, Kool Herc concert,
Well, but what that would also ultimately create is somebody saying, hey, wait a minute, the Jaden Smith doesn't speak for me. Right. And so hopefully what that does
is give a new tap.
Is give a new lane to say, hey, wait. All right, fine. You want all this peace and love and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of cool for you to do that. Right. Because you can invest in peace and love. Yeah. I can't invest in peace and love. I need a little bit of chaos because I gotta, I don't want to open up a can of pork and beans anymore. Right. I'd like to feed my kids like a nice roast chicken or something like that. So to do that, I gotta create a little bit of chaos and stuff. Hopefully as that grows, hopefully what happens is like you see more lanes being created. Yes. Where you get that diversification of ideas, and ultimately that would become a diversification of sounds and
but that's
stuff
what the 80s was. I mean, the 80s did that when you had, NWA and these guys coming out saying, it ain't all fucking sweet in California here, man. True. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna give you the real raw how we live, and it's fucked up here. Yes. It's fucked up. So you are getting a little bit of resurgence of that, but you're just getting it in a different package and a different form of saying, if you're fucked up, the problem might be you.
Could be you, right? You gotta acknowledge that. Maybe you are the problem.
You're the reason why you sit and squat and squalor and you sit in your own shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can't, because you can't wake up in the morning. You can't get up and go, handle business and
go pound the pavement or do whatever.
You got a lot of fuck it in you. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of fuck it, and you got Maury and
roll this blunt.
Yeah,
fucking Maury, Jesus Christ.
You got those daytime shows that really just stifle you. You just sit there and fuck. I can't.
Can niggas stop going on Maury Povage's show, please?
Please.
At
what point do you say this is a good look for me? I'm gonna be on TV. Yo, we going on Maury's son. We gonna do this bitch thinks she got a baby.
And see people dancing because like they find out they're not the dad and shit. That's just like.
That is a tough subject, and those stories, the real ones, the real fight, the plight are really hard. Like
they are, yes.
When a kid is involved and it's somebody, and you never know when that's going to be really your story. You know what I'm saying? So it's so sensitive, but the shuck and jive part of it is whack.
But that's another thing. It becomes another fucking minstrel show.
It's a minstrel show.
It becomes another minstrel show, and then it also circles back to what you said earlier. Like, at what when do you become the freaking instigator of your own condition? At what point are you willing to accept that, okay, you slept with 9 dudes and now you're going to go on this show and you want other people to be responsible for your fucked up decisions? You know? Man. So if you're dude number 6, I mean, why should I? Why should I be responsible for this?
Yeah, no, it's
I mean, it becomes one of those things that at some point you got to be responsible for your own decisions. Now, listen, if you fathered a kid, yes, you should be taking care of your kid. But that old phrase, you're not going to turn a hoe into a housewife.
Yeah. I sympathize with that. We've all had illustrious pasts that somehow come to fruition, and light comes the day, and maybe one day. But I mean, just the shuck and jive portion of it, like the sellout part of it, is no different than what we're hearing from the high end level people of taking these jobs and performing and shucking and jiving. The shuck and jive is always, I'm hearing now. It's funny we said that, talking about all these these webisodes and all these podcasts that are popping up. I've seen so many guys say, I can't wait to sell out. Like, I can't. Like, I
can't wait to sell out.
They're saying it. I can't wait for somebody to offer me a check for my cooning and my, my little, my show and my shenanigans and this and that.
Well, are they calling what they're doing cooning? I mean, are they because there's a difference between selling out. Well,
yeah. I get it. It's content. It's all content.
It's splitting hairs.
Yeah.
And so, if we decided that we're gonna, I don't know, like not be us,
right?
Like do something deliberately because we think
put some more stank on it,
right? If we do that, if we dress up in blackface or whatever, that somebody will watch us and then they'll offer us something and stuff like that.
If we did a blackface
episode,
it would fucking. I don't think I can live with myself. I don't think I can live with myself because you know why?
2 Bros blackface.
No one will get it. They won't listen. They will look. And
right.
And it'll be a picture book for them. And they'll say, these fuckers went and put blackface on and did this. How dare they? They're not even black.
Right.
These guys are Burmese hybrids with mulattoes or whatever you want to call it.
But there's a difference between, I guess, selling out or doing something so that somebody gives you attention outside of the realm of your authentic self.
Yeah.
And taking advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah, exploiting you and turning your fan base into customers. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it ultimately is. It's all about customers and stuff. And shout out to Joey Buttons. He really stood on a platform that said, "You guys have made a significant. It worked. This thing worked.
Mm-hmm.
Your numbership went up, and all of a sudden the sponsorship came in. Mm-hmm. You're getting checks from Nike and." Hey, put these shoes on, wear this on the, now clothes are coming in. And he's saying, yo, it's time to renegotiate. Because that wasn't there before. Now it's time to renegotiate. And they were like, no, we pay you a salary. Do the show. You know what I'm saying? So go do more stank. Go do more stank. Do more your rants and riddles.
Do more. Maybe he'd have, maybe he can put Monique on.
No, well, you know what? The funny thing is, he said he never did it to have guests. He said it was always about his view, him and his co-host, like how we have on this here. And when we brought guests on, it was not to really, it's not an interview. You know what I'm saying? It's a conversation. It's a conversation with someone else. It's never a, so how'd you do this? And, back to you, Chuck. We're not interviewing someone.
How'd you invent the shoelace?
Yeah. Yeah, so I, shout outs to guys that can remain organic and
yeah. Well, that's always tough. That's tough, always tough to do, especially when there's money involved.
What won't you do for a check? So it begs that question of what won't you do for the check? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the put on the dress syndrome. This is the put on the, would you dress up and do some coon and shucking?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do this for the, I saw Tay Diggs on Lip Sync Battle.
Okay.
He had a dress on, man.
Oh, you put a dress on?
Put a dress on. So, I mean, like, if you're going to do it, how do you know which is the right place to do it? Like Chappelle said, it's like, $10 million is not enough, like, for a dress. Like, I need $100 million, to even think about it. And then I want 50%, and then I want to renege on the contract and say, no, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Like, the deal has to be really a deal,
has to be a good deal
that you could change the narrative, risk and reward. Like, the risk of it, is worth the reward. So,
now, in that format, they nobody tells him to put on a dress, right? Like he comes up with his own thing, right?
I thought I understood it, that it was, hey, we have a funny idea. Our writers wrote this for you.
Right. I thought he was supposed to. Well, I mean, that could easily be the case.
Yeah, and then you come out and you're wearing this dress and what? Wait, how's this sketch go? Like, no, we put something on you that looks like a dress. It's really pants, but it's like a dress. It's like a man dress. Like a what? And he said he went walking to the dressing room and he was like, no, the bit you're doing that you practice for, that's the costume for it.
Oh.
So the costume was already set up. The bit was that he had this whiny personality, whatever. So the words and the script he knew of, but you get to the dressing room and the stuff that's there for you is a dress. Huh, not so fucking fun now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not so fun now. I don't know.
That good-looking dark-skinned Negro.
Yeah. So, that's just weird. But the Grammys are what, tonight? The Grammys are tonight.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the Grammys are tonight.
I don't pay attention to anybody's award show or anything. I really don't care. I just I like the music I like, and props to anybody who wins and gets nominated and all that stuff like that. I like award shows. I don't care. I don't care about. It's hard for me to get into them. I don't think I ever really.
Well, it's whenever you get some recognition from. I like when the hungry get recognized. The people that are put in the work. Really done, like Rhapsody. She's finally gotten some recognition. She's getting up for an award or something. She did a song with Kendrick Lamar, which is fire, which is. And she's one of those, never gets credit, these female MCs, and she goes, that's been her plight now, and she says, she says, why do I have to constantly keep defending my look? And
what's her look?
She's, got the fro, got the, she's organic, what I'm saying? She's like a Lauryn Hill. They said, but when Lauryn Hill did it, it was a darling. People loved her. They thought she was acceptable. Maybe she's not on the Barbie list, what I'm saying?
Okay.
She's not the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, the boobies out and all this other stuff, And so she's constantly saying that, like, check my flow. Like, if it was, a Big who was the ugliest fucking motherfucker and said it in his own record, big, nasty black motherfucker. She said, look at what I'm saying. Like, the words don't mean it. This is about lyricism, and check my wordplay, check my schemes, judge me for that, because that's what I'm here for. So she was like, if I could have it, I would never show my face. I would never, she went through this whole subconscious thing of like, I just wanted to have nothing, no face, and just listen.
Right.
There's a lot of guys that were like that before you saw them. They're and that was when music really had. Like, wow, like radio, what do these guys look like? What do these guys look like?
Didn't have a face. Just all you heard was the sound, and the sound hooked you on it, and then you figured out, okay, they look like this.
Frankie Crocker here with the, all these guys, especially the radio.
Do you remember Champagne?
No.
Who used to do the BLS overnight?
No.
Her name was Champagne.
Evelyn Champagne?
No, not Evelyn. Not Evelyn Champagne King. That's the singer.
Yeah.
There was this woman named Champagne.
No.
Who was a DJ for BLS a long time ago.
Okay.
And she used to do the overnight. And she would play the smooth cuts and stuff like that. But she's white.
Oh, really?
Yes, she's white. So she's on BLS, and she has a very, I guess you attach it, so she has a sultry voice and whatnot.
You're coming to us from the
exactly
from the funky town,
exactly.
So and so.
And so you would never, if you never saw her, you would never put that together.
Huh? So
I remember I used to work with this dude named Cecil. He was a Jamaican dude, and we were talking about, and I used to do work overnight at Panera Bread and stuff, and he would work with me, and we would put the radio on, and sometimes we'd hook it up on Champagne and stuff like that, and we'd listen. And I remember saying something that's so I never, I saw her a couple times, man. That's not a bad looking white woman. And he looked at me and he stopped. He said, "Champagne is a white girl?" I said, "Yes, you didn't know that?" He said, "No, man. Don't tell me that Champagne is a white girl. That's not a white girl." He started listening to the thing and he's like, "That's not a white girl, man." And I said, "Look it up." And he looked it up and he said, "Man," he said, "you blew my mind."
But now he doesn't like her anymore?
No, he still liked her.
I know, that's crazy.
But it's just he never put that together. And the interesting thing is that it doesn't matter.
Right.
It never mattered.
The body of work and the content was
exactly.
What you liked.
That's what you liked, and that's what you were drawn to, and that question never came into mind. The same thing that you were saying about what Rhapsody is saying.
Yeah.
Just check my flow. You like my flow?
Like,
fine. And then nothing else needs to matter.
I didn't ask you how I look. Like I'm not
right
selling tits and ass, and the labels are doing that.
Right.
They're pushing image and stuff to the point where they come up with an image award. Like
right.
like duh. But yeah, so that's interesting. And January 31st, not to switch topics, we're supposed to have a lunar eclipse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not solar like the last one.
Right.
They're going to get that in another 4 more years or something.
Are we going to
be
able to see it?
They said we'll be able to see it, and the moon will turn blood orange. Ooh. Like a tequila sunrise type of.
Now that's not. Now the lunar eclipse is when the Earth blocks the sun and the reflection hits the moon. Is that? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Encyclopedia Brown, man.
We fucked this up.
We fucked this up. Lunar eclipse, not solar eclipse. That's all I can tell you is that the difference is very few and far, but it's I guess the moon shows, but the sun is blocking it. Maybe it's coming from a different direction or angle. So we'll have to look it up and we'll see. We'll find out in tomorrow. No, what's today?
31st. Tomorrow's the 29th.
Okay, so we'll find out the 31st, Wednesday. We'll find out.
You know what else is happening on Wednesday?
What?
In Midtown Manhattan, there's a Carl's Jr. opening
up. Really? Where?
There's a someone on 7th Avenue. I can't.
It's probably. I mean, they just put a Five Guys right next door to Chick-fil-A by my office. So
really?
Yeah. So they want that money.
That's a war. That is a
street war.
I gotta tell you, man. Carl's Jr. I think it's the same people that do Hardee's.
Hardee's, same company. Yeah.
It's a burger spot.
Yeah.
But they open at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So at 8 o'clock in the morning, you can get yourself a burger. Yeah, and I remember when I lived out on the West Coast, I lived out in Washington. I took a friend of mine, my man.
We said this.
What?
You said the story.
Oh, did I?
Go ahead.
I took my man Kenny Cup to the airport, and it was about 8:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And we were driving to the airport, and he said, "Oh, you ever been to Carl's Jr.?" I said, "No, I never heard of Carl's Jr." Yeah. He said, "Well, let's go to Carl's Jr." I said, "All right." So I didn't know what Carl's Jr. was. And I'm like, "This is a burger spot." He said, "Yeah." We're getting at 8:30 in the morning, we're eating fucking double cheeseburgers on the way to the airport. And I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. This is
so bad.
I'm driving and eating. I got the burger out the window. I'm like, oh, this is Carl's Jr. I can't believe this. And
so bad.
Eating fucking factory freaking double cheeseburgers.
Oh man, it's so bad, but it's so good.
I know. Like Five Guys. Like Five Guys is one of those.
Yeah, Five Guys.
Five Guys is a sin.
Five Guys is the official stack your burger up and wrap it in foil, and you open it up and it's just all over the place.
It's like ready for you. It's
it's all over the place.
It's like giving you a reward. It's like he's giving you a reward.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Oh.
The revealing of it.
It's like, oh man, I used to when I first started working in Manhattan, I used to do that like twice a week.
Yeah, you said that before.
I can't.
I know, man, but it'll be interesting to see what this lunar eclipse is all about, and if it changes anything. I doubt it.
What would change?
Nothing. Not saying it would. I'm just saying people just have a weird way of thinking. You know, when you get these people to sit on the roof and do dances and fucking say, "Oh,"
well, isn't like sometime in July, like the next time when the Earth's supposed to end, or some shit like that, or
yeah, they just
like they keep like postponing the date.
It's like a fucking Rakim album release date. The end of the world is like Rakim album release date. Never gonna happen, man. It's never gonna fucking happen. It's always next season. We've been waiting for this fucking Rakim album. I don't even want it anymore. I'll listen to the old shit and keep. I'm good. Good.
Yeah, I get on my Rakim.
Yesterday was like some Rakim day or something. It was
on the radio.
Yeah, it was like I was like, who fucking makes these days? And I didn't know about it. It was on the radio. Oh, we're honoring. Maybe it was his birthday or something like that.
Okay.
And they would go like every song. They told the story, the different stuff or whatever. But man, fucking Dr. Dre, like. You shit the bed on this guy, man. You had him.
He had Rakim?
Yeah, he was signed to Aftermath. Rakim was signed to Aftermath for quite a while.
I did not know that.
But
this is when? This is before?
It's way back.
Okay.
When Eminem was first. When they signed 50, they got Rakim too. And they signed Rakim, they signed Busta Rhymes. Wait. Aftermath signed a shitload of fucking guys, man. Like
so this is after we knew who Rakim was.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought you meant like in the beginning.
Remember Aftermath didn't exist.
Right, exactly. That's why I was questioning that. But this is after we knew who Rakim was, and then him and whatever Eric B thing blew up, or however that.
Eric B gangster, man. He gangster. He gangster. Apparently lives with someone. The guy you wouldn't think. Oh, what's the? Oh shit, I don't know his name. He's a Indian, not the Ansari guy. He's like a Canadian Indian kind of comic. Fuck, I wish I knew the guy's name. Damn it!
Is it the guy that did The Problem with Apu?
I have to look it up now. I mean, I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone
either.
I wish I could look up.
Okay.
Apparently he lives with him, and Eric B lives with him. He's like, yeah, Eric B lives with me. He's like, he's out in L.A. Stays at my house in Vegas. And I was like, damn, that's kind of weird. He was like, how'd that happen? I think it was exactly. He was like, how'd that happen? He was like, nah, man, we just hit it off one day. And the guy said, yo, he's trying to stay out here and do some work. And I was like, cool, I got an extra place. I'm on the road half the time.
I'm about to say, like, is that like, so they like share expenses, or is it just like Eric B's crashing at my spot? Is that like, that's two different things.
He said, Eric B lives at my house, like literally. Like, I can't get him out. Like, fucking guy's there and he doesn't leave now. I'm like,
say, you out of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, you need to step your fucking cereal game up in here, B. Like, you know. But yeah, man, that's all fun stuff. But what else happening, man? So I don't know, man. This is gonna be interesting Super Bowl coming up.
And we begin to usher, in my opinion, the most boring sports time in this. I'm not a big basketball fan, so I can't. My sports Jones doesn't get filled with
basketball.
With basketball.
Okay.
So when football's over.
Oh, okay.
So that time between football being and to me, football's over now. Like the best time of football is a week ago when you had you had 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. So that's like the best time.
You're getting all this,
right? You get all the and then Sunday, of course, you figure out who's going to do the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl can be, it's like a toss up. It becomes an event. You begin to see all these, and now you have the Massachusetts and the Philly connections. So you're going to see people like Bradley Cooper and Mark Wahlberg and
all
stuff.
The Philadelphians come out.
Philadelphians and the Boston dudes are going to be coming out, and somebody's doing a fucking I don't know who's doing a halftime show. I could give a shit about a Super Bowl halftime show. I've never given. The only one I saw was Prince. Prince did a halftime show once. I think it was in 2003 or 2004.
Yeah, he said that. That's
only time I've given a fuck about a halftime show.
Yeah.
I hate that. They did a halftime show for the NCAA championship game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
football, and that was Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Now Kendrick Lamar, I like Kendrick Lamar.
She was hot.
Kendrick Lamar's hot, and he tears his shit up, and he did it.
He did the Black Panther. He did the Black Panther.
Yes, he did it the only way he could do it. But I got a problem with your halftime show of a college football game, not focusing on the two bands that each team brings, because this is supposed to be a college event.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So yes, I understand. You're gonna get more money, get more viewers, and all that stuff like that. Bring more corporate money in. Okay, I understand that from a business standpoint. Right. But if you're talking about college, so if at halftime of the NCAA championship, rather than the bands playing, they bring out, whoever.
Fucking rapper.
Bring out, Cardi B or whatever to do a halftime
now,
show.
It would have been dope if they said, hey, your only criteria is you got to use the bands.
That would have been nice.
That would have been fucking hot.
That would have been hot.
College band, college performer. You know what I'm saying? You do one song with this school,
with this
and one song with that school.
That's
that
awesome.
Would have been fucking
Whoever's watching probably has that.
You fucked up, but we'll give you that one for free.
We'll give you it next year.
Because when you do it, we're gonna tell you we told you to do it.
We told you to do it, and we need a check.
Yeah, we need a check. Hey, listen, man, it's been great talking to you.
Fantastic.
It's been a fun day. It's Sunday, fun day.
Sunday, fun day. Sunday, lazy Sunday.
Lazy Sunday. I do got some shit to do.
I got some Netflix to catch up on. I started watching Handmaid's Tale.
I don't know what that is.
Netflix.
Handmaid's Tale.
It's very interesting. Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
It's on I think it's on its third season.
Really?
Whatever, but I just started watching it. Basically, society has been taken over by Christian fundamentalists.
Bible thumpers? Bible thumpers, yeah.
Society's been taken over by Christian fundamentalists, and they go back to very strict literary interpretations of the Bible, specifically the story of Jacob, which when Jacob had a wife, but wife couldn't bear him children, so the wife hired a handmaid to bear him children and stuff. And so so you have...
This is the handmaid.
Right.
Right. Okay. That sounds.
So this is a very interesting thing. It's a dystopia of. It's now a total. The U.S. is now a totalitarian state, and it's run by the military, and so a lot of themes are playing into place. And
interesting.
Watched a couple episodes, and it's kind of
fun. Sounds fun.
It's kind of interesting.
All right, man.
But not that other one. Was that one you talked about? Dark. The thing about the dude that's like forcing somebody to have his baby.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
That's a movie. That's just a movie. You got to find that. You'll see it anywhere. You could look that up. But that is all I'm going to say is I'm going to warn you about the fucking turkey baster. That's all I'm going to tell you. I just want to warn you, the turkey baster is the fucking grossest thing I've ever seen. 2Bro Podcast signing off
and out.
Have a blessed day.
Peace.
Motherfuckers.
It went the wrong way.
I know. It bounced back.
Right.
See you, man. Have a blessed one.
And you too, man.
Peace.
Break fool on them, what? Prove on them, flip, lose the cool on them. Come on, we open up the rap books and go to school on them. It's double M, rave played at 6, who want them? We move on them, flip, break fool on them, groove on them, flip, lose the cool on them. We open up the rap books and go to school on them. It's double M.